Hello and welcome to Minimalist EDC. My name's Chris, and today is New Knife Day. I got this in the mail and thought I'd do a quick little unboxing first impressions video. So, picked up a knife from Artisan Cutlery, who is the kind of the big brother of CJRB, the same kind of relationship that Civivi has with We. And kind of excited because this is a knife from a knife designer that I have never owned before, and I really kind of respect and have wanted to add one of his knives to my collection. So let's get started. Nice little box here. Got a kind of looks like a little Crown Royal bag, but you can see the specifications, bottle number, S35VN micarta. All right. Got our standard packaging material for a knife. And this is the Artisan Cutlery Sirius. And the knife designer I'm talking about, if you can't already tell by the handle shape, maybe from the blade shape, is Ray Laconico. He has a very iconic style with his drop points, and I've really been impressed by some of the stuff he's done. I'd love to own like a Sea Otter or one of those high-end production or high-end custom or production knives that he makes, but this one right here looks right up my alley. It's got the nice micarta scales. It's got a decent blade steel. So let's kind of get into it and see what we got here. So looking at a little bit of the aesthetics of the blade. You got the Artisan Cutlery logo right here. You have asymmetric thumb studs, which for me, I'd rather have the thumb studs on both sides, but it's fine. We have, turn this around, sorry. S35VN, I guess that's a serial number of some sort, and China. I mean, we all know it's made in China. Is there a real reason to put that on the blade? Like, you don't really see that on any of the other, like, China-made folders. And then on the back spacer, there's a little bit of something. We got R. Laconico Artisan Cutlery. So a little bit of branding, a little bit of billboarding. But, yeah, so this is dual action deployment. We have a thumb stud here, and as you saw, a front flipper. So let's take a look. Oh goodness, what is this? Okay, I'm not going to hurt myself. Let's see if I can pull the blade back, and there, got it. There's quite a bit of lock stick on this guy. So I don't know. It's new out of the box. Let's take a look and see what we got with it. But so micarta scales. The pivot collar is nice. I like the hardware. Stick clips are not generally my thing, but this one doesn't look too bad. It's got that kind of modern design look to it, and it does almost fit in this groove. Like, I guess you can tell on camera, there's a groove that runs down the micarta. The micarta feels good. It's grippy. It's good micarta. It's contoured. It doesn't have any sharp edges, so that's good. But let's take a look at size comparison. So try the thumb stud opening. Nice and snappy. Great. So size comparisons. You got a crisp American $2 bill. We'll do a Civivi Elementum and Benchmade Bug Out. So it is a longer knife than some of these other ones right here. And kind of was talking with you before about the branding and the billboarding. It's never been my thing to see a lot of writing on a blade, and I think Civivi does a good job of that. The blade is sterile. Their branding is in the pivot, and it works for me. But even like a Bug Out, which is a medium-sized knife, see this does have more blade length than that. But let's go back to that closing mechanism, because that was concerning with the first close being stuck. So yeah, that lock bar is, when you're trying to close it, and I'm gonna get my finger off because I don't want to cut myself, like, it won't budge. And you see that, like, this little, that's another problem. Let's talk about that here in a second. But this lock bar, maybe if I get my thumbnail in there, I can, oh, there, got it over. Okay. Two problems here. One, the lock bar sticks. That's a defect. So the two things I want to talk about real quick, one is a defect, one is a design issue. The fact that this thing will not budge when you get. Let's see if we can see a little bit. When that lock bar interface is just sticking to the the back of the blade, and like it will not. I can put all the force I want on it until I pull the blade back a little bit to get that out of there. It's just not moving. Um, that's a problem for multiple reasons, but it's dangerous. If I were to like really be putting all my pressure on here and then finally it flicks and then the blade hits me, no bueno. Secondly, the design issue. So there's so much effort taken into this knife for design. Like the lines are great. Laconico does a great job with lines. Um, the aesthetics look great. The fact that the thumb stud lives in this little nested cutout from the micarta, aesthetically it looks amazing. Like I very much appreciate that. However, it doesn't hinder the opening, but the closing to get at the lock bar, unless you have a really tiny thumb to like jam it in there, you are going to be, I have normal size hands. If I'm trying to get in there to press on it, this is sharp. Like, I don't know if you can tell, like it's really digging into my thumb just to get into that lock bar. Even putting what I would consider normal pressure, like the lock bar's obviously not moving with normal pressure, but just normal pressure, like it's still digging into me. And so it's painful and obnoxious. So yeah, it looks like there's almost like an abnormal shape to the back of the blade where this lock bar is like kind of nesting in there. Other things I can see, I'm not sure how much we can see on the camera, but there are cutouts in the liners which reduce weight, which is good. That's kind of a bummer. So honestly, if I get a knife that I'm just not thrilled with, my general philosophy is I will either just try to love it or I will move it on the secondary market, sell it to someone who will enjoy it. But this one, I think this one has to go back. The lock bar, I'm going to play around with it a little bit and see if I can't possibly fiddle with it a little bit to make that action actually make sense or not lock up. And it seems like when the lock bar, if I just gingerly open the blade, it sits in the right spot, and I can move it over with my thumb. But if I use the opening mechanisms like the thumb stud or the top flipper, that extra velocity of the blade, the the lock bar actually goes over about twice as far as when I just put it there. And then, yeah, it gets stuck and I have to kind of pull the blade back and then close it. So I'm gonna send this one back. Maybe they have a replacement. Maybe I can find another Laconico that can add to the collection that doesn't have that issue. But other than that, like the knife, I like the knife a lot. I like the size of it. I like the feel of it. My two downsides on the design aspect and the aesthetics is I kind of like double thumb studs, and you can see why that's not an issue here. I mean, or not a consideration here. Like a thumb stud on the side would they'd have to completely redesign how this works. So that's fine. I mean, I do like the top flipper. It's very functional. It works exceptionally well. It's a good front flipper. The blade, yeah, it looks like it comes sharp. So all in all, Artisan Cutlery Sirius. A few design qualms. Like I don't particularly like the all the branding, and there's no reason to put China on the blade. I don't particularly care for the aesthetics of the thumb, the way the thumb stud nests in there, and this sharp corner right here, which is just it's painful to use. And the defect, like I'm not going to call out the company or the designer on that. That's simply a defect that just needs to be fixed by the manufacturer. But other than that, not a bad little knife. But again, my name's Chris. This is the Minimalist EDC. Thank you for being part of the community. And please click like and subscribe. Have a great day.